Hello everyone, just going to run through some more examples of dividing with decimals. The video was fairly quick and they didn't do too many examples, so I have a few here to help us understand what we're doing when we're dividing with decimals. This is really the most difficult operation with decimals, and so if you didn't get it the first time, and if you need to watch this video more than once, then go ahead and do that. So let's start off with one that's it's fairly simple, pretty straightforward. What is 25.05 divided by 5? So let's start with that 25.05, and we're going to divide that by 5. Okay, so there's no decimal here in my divisor, so I'm just going to go straight ahead and not worry about this other decimal. I can put it right above there to start, and then I know it's there, and just go right ahead and divide. So 5 goes into 25 5 times. Take that out, and I get 0, but I still have to deal with these other numbers. So I bring down the 0, 5 goes into 0 times. Take away 5 times 0, which is 0, and I get 0. And now I'll bring down this 5, and now 5 goes into 5 one time, and then 5 times 1 is 5. And now I have no more numbers. I'm done at 0, and so I can see that 25 divided by 0.5 is 5.01. So again, because the divisor didn't have any decimals in it, it was just 5 right here, no decimals. I could just go ahead, line up these two decimals nicely, and start dividing. So it wasn't really too much of a trick to this one, just knowing that this decimal is right above this one. Okay, so that's the first example. Let's try another one. This time we have 7.826 divided by 1.3. So to set that up with long division, 1.3 and 7.826. Now this time I do have a decimal in my divisor here. So I'm going to rewrite this question, and I want to get rid of this decimal. So I'm actually going to multiply both of these by 10. If I do one, I have to keep it equal. Remember what they talked about with equivalent fractions. So this is actually going to be 13 and 78.26. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and divide that. So how many times would 13 go into 78? I'm going to say somewhere around 6 times. Let's try that. So 13 times 6, I'm just going to use let's find a little space over here. 13 and 6, 8, and 1. Oh, perfect. That is 78. Nice. Okay, so that's 0. And here's my decimal. Put that in. Bring down that 2. 13 goes into 2 0 times. 13, so that's minus 0. I have 2 left. Bring down that 6. And 13 goes into 26 2 times. So now I'm going to subtract 13 times 2, which is 26, which is great. So here is my answer. 13 divided, or 7.826 divided by 1.3 is equal to 6.02. So the trick here was remembering that if you have a decimal here in your divisor, you need to move it out of the way, which means you move this one over here. And so then we had our decimal here, and in the answer, we do what we did in the previous slide. We line up the quotient and the dividend, and we get the decimal on top. So I hope that makes sense. That was a very quick example in the video, and so this was just a little bit of another example so you could check it out. Let's try one more, and this one has yet another trick. So now I have 30 divided by 0.12. So my divisor is here, 0.12, and I'm going to divide that into 30. So I don't have a decimal here this time, but I do have it here, and I don't want a decimal in the divisor. So again, I'm going to multiply this to get rid of it. So that's going to turn into 12. And if I'm moving the decimal 2 places to the right there, I need to move it 2 places to the right here. So it's actually going to be 3,000. So 12 and 3,000. And that, we definitely know how to do that. So let's try doing that over here. So I have more space. So here we go. And we're just going to look at these first two numbers. 12 goes into 30, let's say 2 times. Take out that 24. And we have 6. Bring down the 0. 12 goes into 60 5 times. Subtract 60. 0. Bring down the next 0. And there's another 0. And 0, 0, zeros everywhere. And there we go. So 3,000 divided by 12 is 250, which also means 30 divided by 0.12 is 250. Those are all of the examples I have for dividing with decimals. It's fairly straightforward, but if you have any questions about the work, please feel free to email me or post in the chat online. I'll see you guys next time.